The Super Nintendo has got to be one of the greatest consoles of all time. I'm not really a big Nintendo fan, but I can really appreciate some of their past consoles and what they did for gaming. Sure, the Super Nintendo couldn't handle the Genesis's blast processing, but it sure surpassed the Genesis in every other way, and one of those ways was its excellent game library, which is the topic for this video, my top 5 favorite SNES games. Only one rule here, one game per franchise. Let's begin the countdown. Starting off this list is a game in the genre that the Super Nintendo was known for, platforming. Number 5 is Super Metroid. I gotta say, Metroid is one of the few Nintendo franchises that I really enjoy. The non-linear structure, fun gameplay, and awesome power-ups make Metroid a special franchise. Super Metroid is hailed as one of the, if not the best game in the franchise, even as one of the best games on the Super Nintendo, and this game definitely deserves that praise. It takes the clunkiness of the original Metroid and polished it to near perfection. At first it seems like just a nicer looking version of the original NES game. However, Super Metroid is indeed a sequel, specifically the third one. After Samus finds the baby Metroid, she takes it back to the space station for safekeeping, only for that same space station to get raided and destroyed by Ridley, who also steals the baby Metroid. Samus sets back out to planet Zebes to take back the baby Metroid and to destroy the space pirates. You got all the familiar locations like Brinstar, Norfair, and that place where you get the Morph Ball. The best part about this game is the gameplay and exploration. Super Metroid has a lot for the player to explore and a lot of secrets to find. So shooting things in this game is really fun, and hearing that little jingle whenever you collect a power-up is so satisfying. And the power-ups in this game are awesome. Beams that wreck shit, a thing that makes you jump infinitely, and missiles. Enough said. My favorite would definitely be the Speed Booster. Seriously, it is so damn fun to run so fast and just destroy shit with your speed alone. The exploration this game offers gives Super Metroid a lot more depth and substance rather than just going from level to level. Not to mention, it adds atmosphere as well. Now with all the fun and great things this game has, there are a couple of downsides for me. Firstly, getting from point A to point B in this game can take a long time. Second, some of the items are just randomly hidden in random spots. And third, some of the mechanics in this game are frustrating as hell. But overall, Super Metroid is definitely one of Super Nintendo's best games. I can really see why this game is loved by so many. One of the more well-known old-school platforming titles was Castlevania. The original NES trilogy was fun, but had clunky controls and unforgiving difficulty. Cut forward to the 16-bit era, and we have Super Castlevania 4. This game is noted as being the best of the classic Castlevanias, and there's many reasons why. First off, the controls in this game are fantastic. Movement feels smooth, and you can attack in all directions. Hell, you can even do a little whip thing if you want. You can even use the whip to swing across platforms. And hidden things in this game feel so good. Control in this game makes you feel like Simon Belmont. I don't feel restricted like I did in the NES titles. I feel like I have complete control of whether I progress and live, or fall and die. The story for this game is pretty basic. Simon Belmont needs to go kill Dracula, kick some ass, and most likely get laid afterwards. Really, we play these games for their fun as hell gameplay. I love some of the levels here, like level 4 and its spinning background, the first level's atmosphere, and how the last levels play music from the previous 3 games. And speaking of music, this game's soundtrack is definitely kick-ass. The music for the stages here are certainly fitting for the move of their respective levels, and Simon's theme is flippin' amazing. Super Castlevania 4 really is something special. The controls are the best part here. They just feel so fluent and smooth. Control is the most important part of the game, and Super Castlevania 4 knew that. And everything else just adds to that. Nothing else to say, except this game is just classic. Another genre that the Super Nintendo had amazing games in, and one of my personal favorites, was the RPG genre. Everyone knows and loves the RPGs from Square Enix for the Super Nintendo, but what about the RPGs that weren't developed by Square for the Super Nintendo? Well, one of those, and the best of those, would be Earthbound. As of now, we all love Earthbound, and you have to be living under a rock and not know what Earthbound is. But back then, Earthbound was actually kinda ignored. Before the PS1 hit the scene, RPGs in the West weren't too popular, and Earthbound was sadly a victim of that. But history aside, Earthbound is a magnificent RPG. It takes the traditional RPG system and mixes it up and adds its own twists to make it stand out from the rest. Sure, you got magic, or PSI in this case, and you get EXP and money from enemies, but there's still some unique gameplay elements. For example, in battle if you take damage, your HP will scroll downwards rather than losing that bit of HP instantly when hit. You can use this to your advantage to prevent further damage, or even death if you heal or end battles fast enough. Another cool gameplay feature is how you encounter enemies. You know how in other RPGs you encounter random enemies out of nowhere when walking around? Well, in Earthbound, you can see enemies in the overworld to avoid them or even back attack them for first strikes. And if you beat the boss of a certain area, such as your sanctuary dungeons, then all enemies in that dungeon will cower in fear and run away from you. And the battle system is very traditional. It's turn-based, you got magic, multiple people fighting with you, and leveling up. The battle system is still really enjoyable and does have a fair amount of depth in it. The story of Earthbound is about some alien named Gygus, aka one of the most fucked up bosses in gaming, and its plan to eradicate humanity. You play as SNES in the midst of this invasion, and set out to stop Gygus by finding your 8 sanctuaries, teaming up with your 3 other chosen friends, and destroying all of Gygus's pawns. I gotta say, Earthbound has a beautiful feeling to its world and story. I don't know why, but playing this game makes me feel things, you know? It's hard to describe. When I'm playing through certain parts of the game, I feel happy. Oh god! But yeah, Earthbound is a game of mixed emotions. Some parts are beautiful, some parts are hilarious and witty, and some parts are just, oh god! I think I'll stop with that. And to fit with a game of mixed feelings, it's a soundtrack of mixed feelings. Earthbound's soundtrack can kinda be all over the place. Some songs are catchy as hell, like the 16-bit rendition of Johnny Be Good, and then there are some songs in Master Belch's theme which makes me feel as high as a cloud. And then there's Pokemon's Business, which it begins like a classic 8-bit chiptune piece, and then a minute in, it transitions to hardcore punk rock! So yeah, Earthbound is pretty fucking awesome. It's on Wii U Virtual Console, and if you don't have a Wii U, then go buy a copy of the game for like $200. Or, you know, you can emulate it. But either ways you get your hands on it, it's still a masterpiece nonetheless. When it comes to 16-bit platforming, people usually say that Mario mastered it, or Metroid mastered it, or that Sonic mastered it. However, I believe that Mega Man firmly perfected platforming as a whole, specifically the Mega Man X series. On the Super Nintendo, we got the first trilogy of the X series. X3 was great, but lacked in some areas. Next 2 is amazing, but honestly, it just doesn't hold up to the first. Mega Man X! This game is just, I don't know how to describe it. It is literal perfection of 16-bit platforming, and even 2D platforming as a whole. So why is it perfection of 2D platforming, you say? Well, one of the reasons was this game's amazing first impressions on the player, as it starts with the best intro stage in a video game. This amazing intro stage not only played great, had kick-ass music, and introduced fucking Zero, but it taught the player how to play the game without having to directly teach the player with tutorials and shit. Modern gaming, take notes. This is how your games should begin. But godly intro stages aside, Mega Man X also has tight and solid controls. In Mega Man X, for the first time in the franchise, you can dash. Dashing makes this game even more fast-paced than it already was. Jumping and shooting is as fun as ever, and the level design here is fucking brilliant. Each level is fun to play through and always has their own neat features that make them stand out from the rest. Not only are the levels designed nicely, but they also affect other levels when you beat them. For example, clearing Chill Penguin stage will freeze the lava and Flame Mammoth stage. This attention to detail just makes the game even better. Not only that, but Mega Man X also has collectibles you can find throughout each stage. These range from the hard tanks, the sub-tanks, to upgrades to improve your performance. And the way these collectibles are hidden are clever and actually make sense. They aren't just hidden in some random tile you need to shoot, but they actually require you to think and even use some of the upgrades or weapons you've obtained. Like how you need the helmet upgrade to get the arm upgrade, or how you need Flame Mammoth's weapon to get the hard tank and Chilled Penguin stage. This not only adds substance and depth, but makes the player think rather than just blasting through levels like a badass. Another thing to add is that the Maverick roster in this game is excellent. I like every Maverick here. Well, except for Flame Mammoth. And the weapons you get from them are creative and fun to use. That pretty much sums up Mega Man X and its brilliancy. It may be my second favorite in this X series, with X4 being my all-time favorite, but Mega Man X is still a goddamn masterpiece. It has the best damn intro stage in gaming history, godly controls, insane attention to detail, awesome level design, and it's just fucking fun to play, man. This game is just so much fun. I can't count how many times I've played this game to completion. That there goes to show how much of an impact this game has left on me. It is one of the best platforming games of all time, and to think there's still a Super Nintendo game I love more. I'm just gonna get straight to it here. Number 1 is Final Fantasy VI. This game, man. This game is just legendary. The story, the characters, the gameplay, and everything else is just spectacular. Final Fantasy VI is not only my favorite Super Nintendo game of all time, but my favorite RPG of all time. And let me tell you why. First off, the story in this game is amazing, following a Rebels vs. Empire plotline like 2 and 4, except with a huge twist midway. Final Fantasy VI really knows how to balance out the moods of its story. It can be lighthearted on one hand, but it can also be really damn dark on the other hand. And sometimes, it's just damn beautiful. This is seriously one of the most well-constructed stories I've seen in a game. Unlike previous games in the series, we don't have a select main character. No, we have a whole cast of characters that all get equal amounts of development and focus. Sure, you could say Terra is the main character, and you'd be kinda right. But even then, we still see a lot of development for other characters in the story. Locke and his girlfriend, Cyan and his family, Edgar and Sabin with their troubled family relationship, Celes and her feelings for Locke, Terra and her search for a place in the world, Shadow and his mysterious past. The list just goes on, man. All of these characters are relatable in some way, and they all just feel so unique and likable. And then there's the infamous villain of this game, Kefka. Kefka is seriously one of the best villains in gaming history, if not of all time, in my opinion. He's a sociopathic jester who became a general in the Empire's army. Even though he's a complete condescending asshole who just loves to murder, he manages to be a really entertaining villain. Also, spoiler alert, halfway through the game, Kefka ends up causing the apocalypse, killing thousands and becomes the god of magic. Unlike most villains out there, Kefka actually wins. Sure, you kill him at the end of the game, but that's still a victory for him nonetheless. God, what a fantastic villain. How can this game get any better? Well, let's just say the battle system here is the best in the franchise. The most notable part of it is the Esper system, or as I like to call it, the Materia system if it wasn't shit. But insulting the Final Fantasy VII aside, the Esper system is amazing. Basically how it works is, you get Espers, which you can equip on characters, only one each character though. Each Esper has a set of spells, or just one spell that can be learned from it. In battle, you gain magic points, which level up Esper magic from 0 to 100%. When a spell reaches 100%, the character holding that Esper will learn that spell, and Esper spells also have multipliers on them. Espers are one of the only ways you can learn magic in this game, since Terra and Celes are the only characters who can learn magic via leveling up. The Esper system can allow for some creative setups. When I have Locke as the healer, when I have Cyan be the lightning spell dude, when I have Celes be an ultima machine of death, all of that is possible with the Esper system. Another gameplay mechanic is relics. Relics are certain items that can be equipped on the characters, only 2 each character. They give specific abilities such as dual wielding, having immunities to certain statuses, and giving initial buffs. Relics are there to give some of your characters a more of a battle identity, and that's another thing I love about Final Fantasy VI. All of your characters have something that makes them stand out amongst others. And then there's the music in this game. Being blunt here, it's fucking awesome. Like, I really don't know how to describe it. You just need to listen to it yourself. I'm not trying to be lazy here, I'm serious. I cannot describe the greatness of this game's soundtrack. Every song here is amazing, but the best of them all, without a doubt, is Dancing Mad, the final boss music. It's a 60-minute long, 4-staged, symbolic masterpiece. I don't want to get too in-depth on the final battle here, but it is a contender for the best final battle in gaming. Now before I make this any more similar to my Final Fantasy V video, I think I said enough on Final Fantasy VI's brilliance. Its story is masterfully crafted, the gameplay is insanely enjoyable, the characters are amazing, and all of those other things that make Final Fantasy VI the best Super Nintendo game of all time, in my opinion. This is me, Mr. Madness, and Final Fantasy VI deserves a remake, damn it! Cheers to you all, and have a good frickin' day.